integrity. He had integrity. He said, you need your $1,500. You got $20 a month rent. You got to pay your electricity. You got one worker. Tell us what you want. We'll ship you whatever you want. Daddy said, $1,000 will do. For each one of them, ship him $1,000. Now, that story has a fabulous, beautiful ending when Daddy is ill about 20 years later. But I'm going to switch back now. This is happening, and I'm in the 11th grade. I'm just getting out. And Ms. Combs has come to me. I need about 4 more minutes, if that's okay. Ms. Combs has come to me. She's my math and English teacher toward the end of the 11th grade. Now, Yama, you need to go to college. And I said, Ms. Combs, I'm going to be helping Daddy in the hardware store. That's what I wanted to do. I graduated 2 years early, so I was 15 because I graduated at 16. But we get into the senior year, and she gets sort of insistent. She said, "Now, Yama, I want you to tell Mr. and Ms. Johnson I'm going to take you to Tallahassee because I know you can win a scholarship, and I want you to tell them." Now, of course, everybody knows everybody there. So I tell Mom and Daddy, and I'm wanting to help Daddy, and I'm fully expecting Daddy to say, "Well, son, I need you to help me," because now he's got a grown hand, but I'm doing lots of things. No, both of them said, "Oh, that would be wonderful. We'd love for you to go to college," and they said, "We're so proud of Ms. Combs, and you just tell her to take you on over." Well, I actually was a little bit stunned, but I'm going to do what Mom and Daddy said. So I go, and thank you, Lord, I win a full ride scholarship to the University of Florida. Now that's the good news. Here comes the bad news. In those days, we went to the old gym. Now they do it all on digital. Went to the old gym, and there were just a bunch of counselors sitting around. I had all my admission papers. I go sit down with a gentleman there, and Miss Johnson, what would you like to study? And I said, well, I said, my daddy always talked about Georgia Tech. That was really the engineering school in those early years. And I said, he was a practical engineer. He never had a chance to go to college, but I'd like to study engineering. And so he said, well, Mr. Johnson said, that's a 5-year program, but he said, I'm looking at your Florida 12th grades. Florida 12th grades were the FCATs of today. And every student took them, it was 5 disciplines. He said, Mr. Johnson, I had, and I'm putting this in on purpose. Remember, big high school, but Madison High School, it was Madison County, Madison High School had 92. I mean, a giant class. But guess who had the #1 score in Madison County? Yama. I had a 95 on average on the 5 disciplines. So now that's the good news. Here comes the bad news. He said, Mr. Johnson, with these Florida 12th grades, you can skip the first year. I can mark your record, and all you have to do is sign up over the next 2 years for the freshman classes, do 3 or 4 of them a semester, and over the next 2 years, you just show up for the exam. You don't have to attend the class. The professor's going to see your name, but he knows you're not going to attend the class. And when your regular exams come out, if you have a regular scheduled exam and it conflicts with one of those, just go see the professor, and he'll arrange another time for you. Now that's the good news. I'm exempt. I'm skipping a whole year. Monday comes, first day of class. I've been up there about 10 days. I'm in calculus. I thought calculus was something that happened to your teeth. I had geometry and trigonometry. I am lost ball in high weeds. I'm in physics, and so help me God, when he said physics, I thought he said physical education, and I thought I was pretty good at basketball, not very good at football, but I'm going to enjoy that. No, this was physics. I'm in quantitative chemistry. I had 1 class of biology, 1 year of biology. So, what do you think my frame of mind was on Monday night other than suicide? I didn't sleep a wink. I did not sleep a wink. I was just totally, absolutely devastated. it gets worse. When I signed up, he gave me a little slip of paper, and it said Tuesday afternoon, 1:40, 3:40, report to Wild Hall, second floor, room 187B, mechanical engineering drawing, ML 181. Come and bring your instruments. Fine. Remember, I'm showing up, but I am shell shocked. I'm showing up. I'm there. Dr. Neff steps to the blackboard. He calls the roll. I'm about 2/3 of the way back. He calls the roll, and the only time I told this, other than my family, was when I received an honorary doctorate 5 years ago from the University of Florida College of Engineering. I told this to 1,000 people, convocation, and it gets me every time. I had Dean Promwad sitting here and President Machen sitting there. But what I said was, I walked into that class, and no ladies in it, all gentlemen, and we're sitting at a big drawing table. I'd never seen a drawing table in my life. I'm sitting at a big drawing. Those are all computer assisted now, but you're sitting up on a big stool, in case you're not engineering, the drawing table about this wide with a T-square. And I recognized what it was, but I didn't know what to do with it. Professor calls the roll. I'm looking around, and a bunch of nattily dressed young men, and nobody's looking at me. There's no peer pressure. They're beginning to work. But when I say nattily dressed, I never had a new set of clothes until I was a commissioned officer in the United States Army. I'm not complaining. I had clothes. I had hand-me-downs. I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference until I had a new set. But I'm gonna stay sitting because I'm a little nervous. Are you picking me up back there? All right. Now, Dr. Neff draws a 20 by 40 up there and says, gentlemen, I want a top, a side, a front, and a back view. You may begin. Well, Dr. Neff is going to find me. He's just sort of spotting around, just dropping off over there and then there and there. And he's going to find me, and I'm sitting there with my instruments. And as I told that 1,000 people at that convocation, there are 50 things that Dr. Neff could have said that would have been perfectly appropriate. Mr. Johnson, did they not give you the slip? Or Mr. Johnson, did you forget your instruments? Dr. Neff leaned into me. Like I said, nobody's looking or listening, but he was very sensitive. He leaned into me and said, Mr. Johnson, do you know where the CI is? Well, the CI was the College Inn, and it's right across University Avenue from the old dorms, which were the freshman dorms. Do you know where the CI is? I said, yes, sir, Professor. He said, he sees me sitting there. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have my instruments. I have a yellow pencil in a geometry compass. I have a 12-inch wooden ruler, and I have a 45-degree plastic angle. I don't have any of this stuff. I've been seeing these other fellows get out these books. I'm thinking I'm in a medical school. They're getting all this chrome-plated instrument. He said, do you know where the CI is? I said, yes, sir, Professor. He said, Mr. Johnson, there's a bookstore right next door. They sell used books, but they sell used instruments. He said, you can buy a set of instruments perfectly good for $5. And if you need any help on that, I'll help you. I had 35 cents in my pocket because Mama is sending me $1 a week. And guess what I'm doing with that? You get tired of cafeteria food even though it's free. I'm going to the CI. That's why I knew where it was. I'm going to the CI, and I'm getting me a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich with a chocolate malt for 65 cents. I've got 35 cents. I said, that would be nice. I was just telling him it would be nice for me to find some way. But I knew I didn't have it. And I knew Mom and Daddy didn't have it. And he said, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to excuse you from class and walk out with you. And when you come in on Thursday, I'll help you get started. We walked out, and he gave me $5. And that night, we announced a very sizable six-figure gift, which we've since increased to 7 in his honor, in Dr. Thomas Neff's honor. Now, what I'm telling y'all today is, I don't know where Yama Johnson would have wound up. But I can tell you this, I would not be here. I know I would not be here if Dr. Neff and Ms. Combs had not intervened in my life and made it possible for me to be here. I've met 7 presidents in the Oval Office. I've dined with the President of France. I've met the President of Greece, the President of Ghana. I've had so many things happen to me and my beautiful wife of 58 years, born and raised in Greenville, she was. But I just want to say that there are no just happenings. Everything is a plan. And as you move on through your life, each one, regardless of where you are in it, just stay in step with your values, stay in step with your Creator. And I use Creator because I know who mine is, but I know different people have different creators. But stay in step with who you pay obeisance to, and stay in step with that 4-way test. And each of you will have the life you've always dreamed of. I thank you all so much. Thank you very much. God bless America.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for taking time out of your schedule to be here. I know David's been working on you for a couple of years to try to get here, so we know you're a busy individual, so we appreciate your time.
It's my honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.